In this lecture, I am going to discuss the topics from atom chapter. Okay. So as I told in my previous lecture, there will be positive charges at the center of the atom and the electrons will revolve around this positive charged center, which is nothing but a nucleus. This positively charged center is nothing but nucleus. Around this nucleus, the electrons will revolve in their respective orbits depending on the energy of the electron and depending upon the energy of the each orbits. The electrons will revolve around this nucleus. Okay, so as I told you, according to Rutherford, these electrons will continuously spiral and fall into this nucleus, and this system will not be stable. This is an unstable system. To be a stable system, there must be an opposite force towards the inward force. Okay, so here the inward force is the force of attraction between the positive charges and the negative charges, nothing but electrons. Okay, positive charges and negative charges. Okay, the force of attraction, due to the force of attraction between positive and negative charges, these electrons are moving or accelerating continuously towards this nucleus and becomes unstable. Okay, for stable system, there must be equal and opposite force to this inward force, nothing but force of attraction, which is a Coulombic force. Force of attraction here is a Coulombic force. Okay, for stable system, there must be an outward force, which is nothing but centripetal force. Centripetal force. Okay, whenever an object moves in the circular orbits, there will be inward force, which is nothing but force of attraction, and an outward force, which is centripetal force. Okay, based on this concept, I will give you the radius, Bohr's radius of each orbits and energies of each orbit. Okay. So let us assume that an electron is revolving in the nth orbit. An electron is revolving in nth orbit. Okay. If the electron is revolving in the nth orbit of an hydrogen atom, then the outward force, which is a centripetal force, is equals to inward force, which is nothing but electrostatic force or Coulombic force. Electrostatic force of attraction or Coulombic force of attraction. What is centripetal force formula? This will be equals to mv square by r, where v is the velocity of the electron and r is the radius of the orbit. And what is electrostatic force? Nothing but a Coulombic force, which is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times of q square by r square. Here we are discussing about electrons, so that I will replace this q with E. Okay, this electrostatic potential force of attraction is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times of E square by r square, and centripetal force is mv square by r. Okay, now from this equation, here we have r power 1, here we have r power 2. 1 r get cancelled. Okay, therefore this mv square is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times of E square by r. This is equation number 1. You just please copy. You just pause the video and copy. Here in this equation, m is the mass of the electron and v is the velocity of the electron, r is the radius of the orbit and E is the magnitude of the charge of electron. Just write all these sentences in your notes. Okay. Now from Bohr's postulates, from Bohr's second postulate, what is second postulate? We have angular momentum L is equals to nh by 2 pi, that is integral multiple of h by 2 pi times. Why integral multiple? This n is an integer, okay, therefore integral multiple of h by 2 pi times. What is angular momentum? We have L is equal to mvr, you just substitute in this equation, mvr is equal to h by 2 pi. Okay, this is nh by 2 pi. This is equation number 2. Now what we have to do is, you just squaring on both sides. Okay, squaring on both sides, equation 2 divided by equation 1. From here you will get squaring m square v square r square divided by equation 1, we have m v square, which is equal to here n square h square by 2 is 2 to the 4 into pi square into divided by equation 1. Okay, this we can write it as r into 4 pi epsilon naught times by e square. Okay, you just divide and you just solve for this equation. I here wrote directly. Okay, so here n square m power 1 cancels, v square cancel, we left with m into r square, which is equal to n square 4 pi square cancels by pi, only pi, we left with pi into h square. Okay, here we have r square r, so here we left with only one r, not r square, r power 1. Okay, what we left? Epsilon naught divided by e square. Okay, from this equation r is equal to, here we have n square h square epsilon naught by, you just bring this towards right hand side, so m into e square, pi e square into m. This is the equation for Bohr's radius of nth orbit. This is equation number 3. You just keep it in the box. This r, radius, Bohr's radius of nth orbit, r is equal to n square h square epsilon naught by pi m e square, Just solve your own in your notebook. You just listen to the class first of all, then after try to solve without seeing all this derivation part. Okay, and using these equations we will find out potential energy and kinetic energy of an electron in any orbit of the for the hydrogen atom, in any orbit for hydrogen atom. Okay, you just copy all this by pausing the video. Just write here, write the sentence. This is the nth, this is the radius for nth orbit. Okay, and I will now derive the kinetic energy of an electron in the nth orbit. Okay, so from equation 1, what is equation 1? From equation 1, what is equation 1? We have mv square is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into e square by r. Okay, we know that kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Half mv square, right? Here we have mv square. Just substitute this equation 1 in place of mv square. Okay, I will write here directly. Kinetic energy therefore is equal to 1 by 2 times of what is mv square? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times into e square by r. Therefore kinetic energy is equal to 1 by 4 to the 8 pi epsilon naught into e square by r. You just substitute here r from equation 3. So from equation 3, kinetic energy is equal to 1 by 8 pi epsilon naught times e square into what is r? 1 by r is pi m e square by n square h square epsilon naught. N square h square epsilon naught. Okay, I will rub this. So now here we have kinetic energy as e square into e square is e power 4. Bases are same, power should be added. So e power 2 plus 2 is e power 4 into pi cancels. Okay, we left with m. In the numerator we have m into e power 4 by 8 epsilon naught into epsilon naught square n square h square. This is the kinetic energy of the electron in nth orbit. Okay, if you substitute n is equal to 1, you will obtain the kinetic energy for first orbit. If you substitute 2, you will obtain the kinetic energy equation for second orbit, second excited state or second orbit. Okay, this is the kinetic energy of an electron in the nth orbit according to Bohr's atomic model. We will derive the potential energy. Okay, we will also derive the potential energy for an electron in the nth orbit according to Bohr's atomic model. Now, potential energy of an electron in the nth orbit according to Bohr's atomic model. Okay, the potential energy is equal to potential V, potential capital V at a distance of r from the nucleus. Okay, if this is the nucleus, okay, and this is the distance r from the orbit to the center of the nucleus, and the potential at this point, the potential at the distance of r from the center of the nucleus. Okay, potential energy is nothing but the potential V at a distance of r from the center of the nucleus. Okay, from the center of the nucleus into charge of an electron. Okay, so from the chapters of electromagnetic theory, we have the potential energy as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times of Q by R. Here we are discussing about the electron, so that I will replace this Q with E into charge of the electron is minus E, right? Minus E. If you take a positive charge, here you will have plus sign. Okay, here electron is a negative charge, so that I have taken here minus sign. Now you just multiply this. Minus E square, E into minus E is minus E square by 4 pi epsilon naught times of R. So from equation 3, again you just substitute 1 by R in this equation. Okay, so from equation 3, what is radius? Radius R is equal to n square h square epsilon naught times epsilon naught by pi e square m. Just substitute here. Minus e square by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 by r is pi e square m by n square h square epsilon naught. Okay, finally you have the potential energy as, I will write here. Okay, potential energy as, potential energy is equal to minus e square into e square is minus e power 4 into pi into m by 4. Here we will cancel pi, so we have minus m e power 4, m into e power 4 by 4 epsilon naught square, epsilon naught into epsilon naught square, n square h square. This is a potential energy, and we have kinetic energy as m e power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square, n square h square. This is a kinetic energy, and this is a potential energy of an electron in the nth orbit. And you just add this potential energy and kinetic energy for total energy of nth orbit. Total energy of nth orbit. To obtain the total energy, you have to add the potential energy and kinetic energy. Okay, potential energy is denoted with U and kinetic energy with K. Okay, I will substitute here. Potential energy is minus m e power 4 by 4 pi epsilon naught, not pi, 4 epsilon naught square, n square, h square, plus what is kinetic energy? M e power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square, n square, h square. Okay, you just take the LCM and solve. You will have the total energy as minus m e power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square, n square, h square. This is the energy of the nth orbit according to Bohr's atomic model. If you substitute n equals to 1 in place of m square, okay, in place of n, if you substitute n equals to 1, here you will have the energy for first orbit, and if you take n equals to 2, you will have the energy for second orbit, 3 for third orbit, and so on. Okay, that's it for today. I will discuss about Rutherford atomic model in our next class. Okay, bye.